Oh, when are we ready to record?
It's
Right.
starting.
Oh, okay.
It's started. You want me to put her up?
I think so.
Yeah, I don't care either. Some people really don't
He
like
says,
dogs.
I think so, though, and he's the cripple, so.
Oh, you want her done? You want her away?
Oh well, if everybody wants her out, we'll keep her up. I just hate dogs.
I want it on camera.
He hates dogs.
I hate. If it was a cat, I
He's
wouldn't.
not going to be able to focus.
If it was a cat, if it was a stupid cat. I fucking hate cats.
I honestly have learned to love them.
Really?
Yeah, because all of my other roommates since here have had cats, and they've learned to love me. Last night I had a cat right here on my chest, and I was holding it like this. It was purring right at my neck.
I guess that's like a sign of affection from them, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was sweet, man. It was sweet.
We have one.
I think cats are perfect for boys a little bit, because cats are like hot chicks. They only give you attention every once in a while, you know what I mean? And they're stupid, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they'll just knock shit over, like, oh, look at me.
I'm mad.
Oh, I'm angry. But then every once in a while, a hot chick gets horny, you know what I mean? And it just comes up on your chest and lets you do whatever you want to her. And then the next day she's like, I don't know you. And that's what a cat does. Next day it doesn't even let you fucking pet it, even though you spent an hour last night rubbing it.
No, you're right.
And it makes me want to, go for the cat. And then dogs are just like horny boys.
I know with this dirty ass dick all over me. Look at this.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I'm putting in the cage. On camera, we're putting the dog in the cage.
this is the real abuse right now.
What do you mean? Cages are legal.
And he says he's Mexican.
Bro,
Thank you, Aggie.
how do you, are you ever going to have a dog?
A dog?
You'll see,
We
man.
already have a dog and cats. I live with my parents though.
How do
If
you
I
treat
lived on
your
my own, I'll
Rottweilers?
just get a goldfish.
Really?
True.
I gotta
You
go.
couldn't take care of that.
I,
But if-
I did well with it.
No, but if you had your own cat, I swear to God, if you had your own dog, you'd put it in a cage eventually. They'd piss you off after.
Oh no, I hate dogs. Yeah, what? I hate all animals.
Oh.
I already live
Oh,
with the
you're
dog
Mexican.
in a cat. What do you mean? What?
Mexicans are the only people you ever meet that really are like so indifferent towards animals. Like they're the people that can grab a rooster and like just twist its neck around. You know? You don't see any
I'm not that
roosters just shit
Mexican,
like
yeah.
that. I know, but it's in your blood.
I will be honest though. I saw a lot from kids from my hometown. A lot of them had those funnels in their backyard for chickens, and it was for putting a chicken in upside down
And then
chopping their head off so it would drain out. And that always scared me. Whenever I saw a family with one of those, I'd be like, oh, it's one of those families.
Do you feel like you were born in a different time? The fact that you lived out there, because like things are kind of different. Like
No.
oh, okay.
No, it was still. There were so many rich. I had a lot of like really upper class friends who had all the gadgets, and I'd go over and hang out with them all the time.
That's awesome. So you had VR before everybody, huh?
What?
You were playing with VR before like everyone.
That's a good point. Yes, dude, yes. I had a friend who was like straight A student. His parents were gonna send him to like the most prestige college, and he had set up like before Oculus even came out. He set up like a connected to the computer VR headset with cameras above you that tracked you, like all the way back in like 2014.
So
And he let us play Super Hot right when it came out, and I was like, "Yo, this is so fucking awesome." I wish I was a 4.9 student. I don't know how to do this, and I'm like, not worth it.
That ran so much better too, huh?
Huh.
I bet that would run like
Oh yeah.
That's crazy.
And it tracked where your body went too, so you get to walk around with the VR and stuff. I mean, the Oculus kind of kill it. My little sister has one of those, and it's pretty awesome, but it dies fast. But yeah, it was so cool. It's legendary.
Alright, so this is the new color. That's the podcast name. This is about comedy and seriousness in comedy. And my position is you can't be like serious and funny. You know, I hate when people go on stage and they have like a point to make, you know, or a position they want people to agree with when they're done, not a joke to tell. So that's ultimately it. And I want to bring some of my guys that I think they're like the funniest because I think you guys balance it so well. Everyone I've interviewed, I think they have a great balance of serious and funny because you got to be serious about comedy to get in your car and drive places to do bogus shit like this, you know. So. And then even more cooler shit, which is like going out and getting your name out if you're really serious about it. But it's like, it's real funny to take something that's supposed to be completely tomfoolery seriously, you know. At least that's what I'm thinking, because I try to get good at comedy, but I'm like, it's really hard. Not taking it seriously because you'll get nowhere with it, and then taking it seriously, it's like, all right, now you're not gonna like doing it anymore. It's not funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
But first question. Your dad's a performer, right?
Yeah.
So you're like a natural, basically. Your whole life, you grew up with somebody who behaves like a performer, and then that's your natural behavior growing up. So
Yeah.
once you get on stage, it's just like, what do you know? There's no act.
Yeah, I will say something on the first thing you said because I was trying to conjure up a thought after all the first things you said. I think you're absolutely right. I think I like comedy because it's one of the only hobbies that you can do something serious about it but not take it seriously, and it's like the only hobby where you can do that. Most hobbies, in order to get better at them, you got to sit down and be quiet and just like focus on it. With comedy, when you're like focusing on comedy, like writing a joke, it's usually me like jumping around my house and like acting out a bit, you know what I mean? And talking out loud and going in circles and making myself laugh in my room, you know? That's me. That's how I'm writing most of the time, is in my own room, laughing to myself, talking at the wall, doing like a performance in my room. Just like kind of like you won't be able to understand anything I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I always feel like
it's like
This is what you do in the back of the comedy room. Like, you go back and forth and just practicing your set.
Usually right before I go up on stage, that's when you're like in that flow state of like you're getting ready to go up on stage, and that's when the most ideas come to me. So usually I write down all my jokes, and right before I go up on stage I'll be like, oh, what if I said this? And I'm like,
dude.
And then it just starts flowing, and I write a bunch of shit for it.
Dude, that's so funny because like I know you and Vinny do the same thing, but it's like you're way funnier. But he's a nut job. The way you're explaining this sounds crazy, but it's also like you're good at it. He's not good at it.
I think the difference is Vinny's going over his set. I'm like.
What it is, he's doing his set.
Yeah, he's doing his set. I'm not doing my set. I'll know that I'm talking about, because usually when I write out a set, I only write out the punchlines and I don't know the setups. So I'm basically back there, I'm like, and I'm kind of in my head improvising everything I might say. And then if I come up with something that may be a little bit clever, I'll be like, okay, I'll say that. And I'll write it down underneath. Usually I'll have all my punchlines, and then I'll have like subtext underneath it of all the things that I come up with right before I go up on stage. And then I'll try to remember as much as I could what I wrote right before I went up on stage. I feel like I do a lot of my writing on stage, but as far as taking it seriously, there are some aspects that I really annoy, as far as like when you're setting up a skit or you're setting up a writer's room, you know? There's so many different energies, and a lot of people think that, you know, you have to like, all right, what are we going to do? That's a good punchline. Like most people from LA that I've noticed, when they're talking about stand-up, I hate how serious they take it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's like, that's why you're not funny. You hope you know. Like, you can't, it just, I can't stand, and I can't, I'm obviously friends with so many of them, but just people who are like, when they're writing, they don't smile at all. It's like, who are you writing jokes for? Like, obviously, if the joke's not even making you laugh, then why would you tell the crowd that?
That's like sinister. Yeah.
No, but it's a madman thing where you're like, because I do that at the coffee shop. It's like I look retarded, like,
yeah, because you do every time that we've ran, you'd be like, or maybe not, I don't know, because you actually find your jokes funny.
No, but you look.
So much
I look crazy.
But that's passion.
Yeah.
Passion versus like say some sinister, like there's like a motive behind what they're doing. They're like, like what the? You can't write a joke and like be affirmed with yourself. You gotta write a joke and be like, this is funny.
I was talking to this girl. She reads books, and she was telling me about this Arthur. She's told me there was a guy that like his neighbors hated him.
Author and Arthur? You're so stupid.
What?
I went with it, man. I knew what he's talking about.
What?
He said Arthur instead of author.
You?
I think we would know, but and the 4 other people who are gonna watch this is gonna know. So sorry, but
Arthur.
It's funny to bag on you.
Author.
Arthur?
Yeah, like you're starting the word.
So
autistic.
she's talking about an author.
Author. I'm just whatever, man. But
Your mom's a teacher?
No.
Oh, I can't about to say.
Author?
Very patient young man.
Arthur.
There's no R.
There's no Arthurs.
How's he say it?
Okay, I'm sorry, derailed.
Author.
She told you about an author.
Author.
Yeah.
Author.
Yeah, but she told you that one.
So she told me about this author.
Yeah, perfect.
And there's a neighbor. His neighbors hated him so much because he would stay up all night just writing to himself and just making himself laugh.
That's so.
Like
baller.
his neighbors hated him for that. This is before like electricity and shit.
No, that's funny. There's no hum of like your electricals. Like there's no like your dryer's making a lot of noise, so you have to. It's just real quiet, and some guy like.
That is how I look up to people who do that all the time though.
Yeah.
Like, and I also look at the people. It's a huge split up in green rooms when I'm talking to people. There's some people who want to get in the energy and riff, and people who are in the green room who are like, dude, imagine if fucking, and they're like trying to get in the mood, and they're all laughing with each other, and they're split, busting each other's balls,
Yeah.
and because they're trying to get themselves in the mood of the silliest version of themselves, which is about to be on the stage. But some people will just be like, can you give me a moment, man? And he's just like going over his shit, and he's like super serious about it, and I'm like, bro, that's the attitude you go in on stage. And then I see him go like this, and then he's like this when they call his name, and he goes up on stage, he still holds that face, and then he grabs a microphone, and he's like, what's up? It's like, that's how I know it's fucking fake, man. It's all fake.
Yeah.
And I hate that. Like, a lot of people who go up on stage and are just completely fake, it just blows my mind. And we have a few people in the scene who do that, and I go, like, I understand that you're trying to make people laugh, but who's making them laugh? You or this, this little joke character that you're playing, you know?
This guy's not going to exist when you get off stage.
Yeah.
But then that means it's a whole acting bit. It's a whole.
True, but he's not even purposely.
He's not an actor, though.
The part that I think will sometimes make an audience cringe is when he thinks that he's convinced the crowd that he's being himself. Mm-hmm. When the crowd knows, oh, this is not a character. Because a character is one thing when it's it's a clown or something, or any of the characters on Kill Tony, and everybody understands that it's actual. Oh, he's playing a character of somebody, But some people will actually go on stage and play a character and pretend like that's them. You know what I mean? And that's so irritating to me, because that tells me two things. One, I always say this, I like to make jokes that make me laugh and show people why it's funny, rather than just make jokes that I think will make people laugh.
Yeah.
Because I feel like people who make jokes that they think will make people laugh are just trying to get attention, and just they're not doing the craft for themselves. They just want people to laugh at them and be like, I'm a good, and that's why I'm laughing to myself in a room. And when I see somebody who's not laughing when they're writing a joke, I'm like, you don't even like what you're saying. That tells me you don't really want to love stand-up. You just want to have people like you maybe be famous.
And this is the easiest facet to like you say. Because you can't just get in. Well, you could get into acting, I guess, but it's everyone's ugly around here, so really not gonna. Or you could get into maybe a writer's room for I don't know, Family Guy or some shit like that. But nobody's smart enough to do that around here either. No one writes consistently or something that's coherent and funny enough to be you could send it in and they go, oh wow, you're really funny. Come work for us, or send us shit.
I'm willing to bet, I have no idea because I've never been in a professional writer's room, but this is just a willy-nilly guess. I guarantee you they hire people who are willing to stand up and walk around the table and riff and tell jokes and make laugh, other than the guy with a notebook who's super serious who's like,
Conan.
I think a metaphorical punchline or analogy might be good here. You know what I mean? I don't think that's a good energy to write with or ever to actually make something funny. Have you ever seen the South Park documentary?
No.
Dude, it's so good because they're doing exactly what I'm saying. The creators of South Park are literally doing laughs around a table, talking. They're like, what if and that's how they write.
And they have to do it that within the 4-week basis that they get.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
What if? And then Bill Hader's like, yeah. And then he comes in, he's like, and then they're literally doing that with each other. The same way we'll we're riffing a house. I think that's the most proficient way to make something funny.
You guys have fun. You have to
just hanging out and just letting it, because it's natural. If you're writing with David May, it's just these jokes hit, but we're not taking it. We're sitting down and writing these out. It's just us talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, for real, like you say, fucking you gotta kind of have fun with it too. But they're doing it. They're writing it down, like you're saying. They're having fun, but they're they're in a room worth $500,000. It's very serious what they're doing. Serious business, but they've made it that they're having the ultimate fun with other people's money and other people's expenses.
Yeah, because they're trying to make something funny, and that's the only way they can get in that state, and they understand that.
And they have the
Some people can't be funny.
True. Back to my original point, though. That's why I love this career or this hobby or what we're doing, because it's the only thing, it's the only hobby that you can do seriously but not take it seriously.
Right.
It's the whole point is to fuck around. And I've noticed the most successful I've ever been is when I give the least fucks.
Yeah, no, same. The best set I've ever had is probably at the well, when I'm really over it all.
Yeah.
I'm already doing horrible, and then finally people are like, oh cool, this guy's not faking it, like you said. This guy's not doing a voice or fucking you just I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just really funny when you kind of become aware of that.
I've seen Trent Babb have so many good sets, and I'll say his name because he, the type of humor he does. He's very corporate humor, and he'll admit to that. And he's the baller at it. Whenever you have a crowd full of like a bunch of people who have paid a big ticket or something like that, he'll have them laughing, have them dying. In fact, when Trent kills, I know I'm gonna bomb if I'm going after him because it's a completely different vibe.
I've heard about that before.
And there was one time Trent was so fucking pissed about something that happened to him that day, and he's one of those guys that just goes off the paper. You know what I mean? I doubt he's like riffing it up. I guarantee he's just going da 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 period comma dot, and there was one time where he was just so fucking mad about something that happened with him at work where he didn't give a fuck about comedy, got in an argument with somebody, and he was so fucking pissed. He went up on stage, he goes, I don't give a fucking more, and he was doing all these moves. It was the hardest I ever seen him kill in my life. I was like, whoa. And he was just like, fuck you, blah, blah, blah. And it was so funny seeing it come from this guy.
Yeah.
And it was like the hardest I seen him kill, and I was like, bro, I feel like that's why I try to channel the most is this guy who's either scared or mad or adventurous or doesn't give a fuck. Like those are the kind of feelings that I try to keep every single time I go up on stage. And to answer the other question about my dad, though, I was always jealous of my dad. And that's why he would go to parties and he would sing songs and people would just chant.
Right?
Yeah, and I was like,
man.
how does he fucking do that?
Like that's the ultimate focal point for a young boy. Like, wow, my dad is rad as
Dude,
fuck.
my dad used to play music at the Crystal Palace.
That's so.
And I've ever told you the stories where he used to there was one time Taylor Swift opened for him.
What?
Which was wild, but that story is kind of to the point and short, but
yeah, when she was coming up, right?
yeah, when she was coming up, he had a band called 800 Pound Gorilla, and they had a gorilla mascot, and he played upright bass. And he would take me to the Crystal Palace, and I would sit in the balcony, like in the VIP section, because he was playing that night. And then he would do this thing where he would stand on his bass and then start playing the music, and the people would go crazy. And just as a kid watching that, I'm like, dude, that's so fucking epic. Just to see somebody have everybody lose their minds because they're doing some kind of trick. And then he would drop the bass, he would get dressed in a full monkey suit, and he would come out as a monkey and do a bunch of monkey gimmicks and then take the gloves off and keep playing the bass. And I was like, what the fuck am I watching?
That's crazy. Did he do that to this day?
He still is in bands, but he's not in a punk rock band anymore. That's where he used to do it. And
Punk rock band with
yeah.
fucking bass.
Yeah.
Is so rad.
Upright bass, yeah. And then we would go to family reunions, and everybody would just go around him. Like my whole family would circle around him. And he would tell a story. He would tell a joke. Or he would literally do a shanty, like he'd bring a glass and he goes and everybody would go like this and sing with him, and I'm like, how does he fucking do that? I was always so jealous, and that's what kind of got me into. I started watching stand up
He's like
when
a
I was
super
like
master
14.
of ceremony kind of guy.
Yeah.
So did that ever encourage you to get into music?
No, I was just satisfied with the idea. I was more satisfied with what he did at those parties.
Yeah.
And making
That's his thing.
crowd going crazy. I never liked music like he did, but I always enjoyed the idea of just making everybody coming up to you because they want you to make them happy. That is such a crazy concept.
That's a crazy high.
Yeah,
Fuck. Holy
real.
shit.
And that's to my next question. It goes into like the support system you probably had like for comedy, because it's just, I think it's really funny the way everyone has a different like way of coming up, because I can imagine performative dad, mom who probably supported him, and then mom who's like, my son, remember that funny little YouTube video you showed me you made when you were a kid or some shit where you get shot by like a Nerf gun?
Oh yeah.
You're like making real funny videos from when you're like a kid. So family that really like is like, yeah, do it, like do what you want to do.
It was more like, do whatever the fuck you want.
Right, yeah, was it? That's even cooler, because I remember bringing up the concept of like doing comedy to my grandma when I was really young, just like watching a Ralphie May and being like, God, this guy's hilarious, and then being like, Grandma, comedy's so cool, like wouldn't it be funny if I was a comedian? She's like, get that stupid out of your fucking head like as soon as you can, and think of something realistic, like. And then I remember another time joking around with my dad, just making him the butt of the joke. He's fresh out of jail, and he's fresh out of like 10 years of jail. He didn't raise me, but I'm like fucking picking at a monster. And then I forgot what he says. He goes, you only joke around so much because you want attention, because you never had a dad to give you attention. The guy who wasn't there to give me the attention is saying this to me. Like,
damn.
so it was
roasted.
really funny. Roasted.
He won.
I was in the backseat like, oh, not cry right
Yeah.
now.
I got no comeback for that, dude.
He could kill me.
You know the only way you're doing this is because I'm a shitty dad, right? Get
But that's
fucking
like-
roasted, kid.
That's a
You're like, I have no
baller.
comeback for that.
Yeah. No, I didn't. And I just think it's really cool how you probably had the exact opposite experience, right? Like, I'm sure when you
I will
told-
say, it wasn't like they give a ton of fucks about me liking stand up because I was playing basketball, and they would drive me to basketball and stuff like that. I had good parents, and but I do have a split memory of sometimes my parents like they act supportive, but I think they're pissed that I'm like not in college and stuff like that all the time. I think they talk shit behind my back all the time. Because my younger sister also does art. She draws, and my dad is like, of course, all my kids are fucking artistic. Perfect. That means they're not going to be making any money for a very long time. I do have a memory of like being 15 and watching like stand-up specials on my phone, and my mom being like, I think I know what he wants to be when he grows up, you know. And that's been a core memory with me for the rest of my life. I didn't actually do it until I was 17, but the idea has always been so attractive. We didn't have like open mics in Tehachapi, so I couldn't do it until I had a car and wasn't going to school anymore.
So did you go to college for a little bit?
Yeah, I did.
Right, that's
I went to BC. You're good on time.
11 now, yeah. I thought it was
Yeah.
like 11:40 or something.
It's all right.
Fucking, yeah, that's so funny. I remember the second my grandma told me that, I was like, alright, never considering stand-up again. And it wasn't until I heard they were doing open mics at Tumblr, and I was like 22, and I was like, oh, maybe that would be fun.
Yeah.
You know, like, also I was always super anti whatever my parents were telling me, but I never considered it because you're such a young kid when she shot it down that I was like, well, that's out the window.
Yeah.
But
I
that
would
is so
never
rad
even-
that you started at 17 is so sick, dude.
You
'Cause
feel
you
like
got
they
to go up
should-
there and be like, yeah, I just got out of school. What did you losers get out of work? That's like so fucking
I never
funny.
heard that.
That's a good one. If you were a kid doing shit, like, it's just ageism's really funny.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Then you start fighting it, but I'll be old and ugly eventually.
No, all of us. Yeah, that's what you got to use it. Because if you're not gonna use it, then what's the fuck? Like, well, if you were young, I had a joke where I'm like, oh, I'm 26, but some of these guys are 30. Like, oh, that's 4-year difference. There's no difference there.
Fucking
really.
freshman.
Yeah.
Literally.
I did used to. There's a bunch of jokes that I had just about being in college and being a little boy. And I remember Tyson came up to me one time and was like, "Dude, I miss those jokes. Those jokes are so funny." And I'm like, "You just want me to joke about being in junior college still? Like, you want me to joke about being a young kid getting out of high school and getting pussy for the first time? Those are the jokes you want me to tell as a 22-year-old?"
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. It's really funny because they were funny when you could use them, but like you say, as you get
Yeah.
older, you're aware that you're like, I can't keep doing this.
Yeah. It's also a cheap shot, you know.
Oh yeah.
I always try to avoid cheap shots. Like it's I
Handling
always
is crazy, right?
I always get pissed off when I see someone in a wheelchair on Kill Tony murdering, and they're like,
Yeah.
"I'd give you a standing applause, but," and then just people going crazy. It's
Come
like,
on. You
God,
gotta hit
dude.
it. You
It's
gotta
like,
hit
how
those-
long is that gonna last, buddy?
What's a comedy special?
True.
What'd you say?
One comedy special. That's
Yeah.
This is gonna get you that far, and then
Yeah.
after that, it's like, oh. But there's plenty of comics that I've seen that back in 2008 they were like, these guys are killers, and you never hear from them ever again.
True.
How long do you think Kill Tony's gonna last? I haven't watched an episode in like a year, probably.
The craziest thing is the Kill Tony's audience. I realize doesn't even need to like stand up.
No, I know. I know
Yeah.
people that watch it, and I was like, these guys like work on cars.
Yeah, yeah. Its audience has gotten. I remember when he did the Madison Square Garden, because comedy goes in waves, and they say this is the best, this is the worst for comedy, and
That's
it
what's
always
going
has
down
dips,
now.
right?
Things go down.
I made a prediction with David. I was like, the second Kill Tony does the Madison Square Garden, it's gonna start to go down. And I made that prediction, and I gotta be honest, I think it's still happening, because Kill Tony doesn't really seem like stand-up anymore. Because most people who watch it don't know any of the guests on Kill Tony, or don't watch stand-up, don't have a favorite comedian. They're just watching it because they're watching someone who's super cringy for 1 minute and get made fun of, and they're like,
It's a game show. That's why it's
It's
not
a
even.
game show,
Yeah, it
yeah.
is. It's like, oh, like a contendant's coming out, and it's like, oh, we can sign up for this. Like American Ninja. No one's physical. None of these guys are physical people.
And the geniuses have caught up to that and realized that they can become famous.
We still got the audio. Perfect. Yeah, no.
It's the same thing as like a lot of people just want to make like short TikTok skits, you know.
I was just telling him, don't do that.
But what if you have?
I do jokes. I'm a comedian that does sketches. I'm not a sketch.
I was
Yeah, I
being
get
mean.
it.
I was being mean.
There's difference.
I was being mean.
I would be mean. I would never do that unless I knew it was.
You know, I feel like every
small
comic
idea.
that's been on here has called me
So
corny.
David, we were talking about it all the last time. He's like, yeah, it's corny till it works. And you're like, it's mad corny.
Yeah, yeah.
Then it works one day, and you're like, oh.
No, but
That's such a
to
good
be
point,
fair,
yeah.
you have a 1 million view video, right?
True. Yeah, and well,
But you only do one thing every 6 months. Like you post one thing, so
I know, and that's my fault. And
you got a lot of quality for quantity. Am I saying that right? Quantity over quality.
I'm 100% a quality over quantity guy. I feel like David says something also that I think about all the time when I make material, and he says, whatever you put out onto the internet is the only thing people won't know you will remember you by once you die. So once you're not on this earth, the only way that they can remember Nathaniel is either stories or what you've put out into the world. And so why would I put a bunch of half idea, half effort shit into the world if I was just trying to get views with quantity, when I could put quality stuff that really explained who I was and how hard I was trying towards this thing, you know?
Because you could have been doing unboxing toy videos. Really,
I could have,
right?
yeah, and maybe it was huge and I was making tens of $1 million for it. But most people go, who's Nathaniel? And they go, oh, we just fucking unboxed toys. You know what I mean? And nobody would give a fuck, you know?
Yeah.
Or they can go to a page and they'd be like, oh, he had some, you know, I could tell, you know, he
Some
tried
baby
it,
toys.
you know? And I'm trying to represent truly who I am in my hardest art, you know? Which is not me all the time, but I you know, I don't post a lot because there are some things that I make and I go, I don't want this, you know? I don't want this to represent me. And I think that's the big hang up and why I don't post very much is because back to the idea of like the joke that you said, you know what I mean? I think you can tell if it's hack if you can't make more about it, if you can't keep talking about it. Because if it's hack, it's probably because it's just a simple in and out joke that's just bam, there it is, you know? But even Mark Norman tells jokes like that, but he expands on it and he tries to find different corners on it and stuff, and he tries to make it as long as possible, you know?
Yeah, and the
which I have a lot of respect for.
Yeah, whatever vocabulary he uses is really good because it's like you say, it might be fucking 2 sentences, but the words he uses create, like you say, a whole story.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, man, I really just got to get smarter too.
And he'll keep talking about something, and it's not even like, you don't even need high IQ just to sit in a room, think about your joke, and then being like, what are things people have never thought about this? And the only way you get to that is thinking about it over and over and over and over again. And then all of a sudden you have a joke about Asian aliens coming to Earth, because that's right there's your premise. How many jokes can you make about aliens who are Asian coming to Earth are? There's so many aspects of that you can pull apart, and then you can do a story, or you can pretend that you met one. And there's like, you can play those through your head, and you can keep going and keep writing that. And that's how I think is like, okay, I may have something here. And when you make a reel, you're basically just going, I'm okay with this being a one-liner. And then you're throwing away that joke. When that joke possibly had the potential to be a movie. You know what I mean? When you can just make I try to make skits that are like 7 minutes long, and I have terrible work ethic, but I just made one last Saturday, and with David, we try to make as many like skits as we possibly can that are like 3 minutes long, 4 minutes long, that actually, you know, stretch out the joke that we have in mind as far as we possibly can. And I feel like that's almost like paying homage or respect to a joke, rather than just, you know, putting it in a tweet.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's just like throwing it away.
Dog, that's so funny. I was about to download Threads because I was like, I'm never going to use this on stage. I'll just put it on Threads. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
If you know if it's just something you're throwing away and you have no passion towards, there's no point in keeping it.
Yeah.
But
no,
I've
like
been
you said,
putting,
it's a joke. I think is sorry.
No, I've been putting all my breakup messages on there, like copy and paste and put that on there.
that's funny.
That's all I can use it for. I'm not using this on stage. It's sad. She called me an alcoholic. I heard.
Left you?
Yeah, she was like, "No, you took Xanax and you are." I farted all night, and she's like, "So when I woke up from the Xanax, I went to the living room. She was sleeping on her own couch. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm never talking to her."
That's real player shit. I'm gonna fart in your bed all night, bitch. You gonna sleep on the couch. Get the fuck away from me.
Do you have threats?
That's so crazy.
You have Twitter?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like they're bad. All that shit's bad. But
No, it's brain rot. So just a lot of the
I got on
society.
Twitter like the day Charlie Kirk died, and it was.
I did too.
I didn't know. I was like, I got on Twitter just to get on Twitter, and I'm like, breaking news video. Holy fuck!
Yeah.
Like,
I've never been more interested in politics until Charlie Kirk died, and I think I'm finally wearing out of it. But I definitely did some crazy searching on Twitter.
big War Mode fan.
What?
Big War Mode fan. Do you like War Mode?
I don't know what War Mode is.
They're a really funny podcast. They're like Matt McCusker's brother and shit.
Oh.
And dude, all they do is go over like conspiracies, and they were talking about the Kirk assassination. And they were crushing it because they were like, dude, he didn't die, like he didn't get shot. The fucking lapel mic blew up, killed him. Like, yeah, and they're like showing all the videos to prove it. I'm like, I love these guys so much.
What's the time at right now?
It's 11:34.
34. Okay.
You have an
You wanna go
hour.
soon?
No.
All right, well then
34.
let's ask one more question. I got
34. 34.
It's only been 36 minutes.
it's only 36.
I want to go get a burrito. That's I'm hungry.
God damn it.
Be
Oh.
patient, man.
Oh,
Be patient.
I can do another 30 minutes.
Enjoy yourself.
Enjoy yourself. We got one or two more questions. I think balance is gonna be one of them. Yeah. Where do you find balance? Did I ask you that already? I feel like I
No,
asked that.
I don't get it.
Right? Because
Elaborate.
balance between serious and funny. Because sometimes it feels like at least with you, there's no balance and it's all just funny, right? But some people they're super serious and then they're funny and they got to balance these two things and they do it well on stage, whether it be like for an idea or a joke or like, you can tell some people are serious with what they're trying to say, like about gay rights or fucking.
It's always fucking corny.
It's always to you. It's
Fucking
always corny.
If it's like even if it was something on the opposite
agreed
side
with,
of
yeah,
gay
you agreed.
rights, or something I agreed with, I'd still be like, this is fucking so
Yeah, it's not what
stupid.
the stage time's for, right?
I that's just my opinion. Some people like that,
Yeah, no,
but I just
sometimes
don't
that's
think
fine.
you're going to be a very good comedian if all you want to do is talk about serious stuff. But I mean, Mark Maron has a career. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I don't like that.
yeah, and we're not fans of him, but there's still a position for that.
Those are like Trent
Yeah, he had
fans.
number one fucking on the he was number
podcast.
one, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of crazy.
And I'm not a fan of Joe Rogan too, but he has the biggest podcast in the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just like, what do you want in your career? I suppose I just want to be. I want to be a funny comedian.
Be a good
So
one.
that's not.
Well, you want to be a successful comedian, right?
No, I want to be a funny comedian. I feel like if I can just make my art as best as it possibly could. Obviously, being successful is one of the goals. That's you can't be successful without your art being good. Obviously, But I want to obviously make a career not through sucking someone's dick. I want to make it through. Yeah, he's funny. Put him on. Which has happened to me before, and it feels so warm. To be booked only because you're funny and not because you know how to start a conversation with somebody and. Tell them all the things they like.
Yeah.
What about ticket sales then? He was like, oh, this guy's funny, but he sells no tickets.
Dude, it's unfortunate. It's just like it's the poison of comedy. Is
Bringer
the
shows.
the market aspect of it, and unfortunately, it exists, and that's what it is. Is you're a product. You have to face the fact that you are a product, and if you don't sell tickets, you're not a good product. But you will sell more tickets if you're funnier. And I think that's the baseline, and I just want to be funnier. There are some people that don't need to be funny. But I think we need to be funny, because we're not Matt Rife, and we're not Joe Coy, and we're not, fluffy. So we need to actually be as funny as possible in order to sell tickets. Instead of being able to shake someone's hand.
Yeah, I can communicate, suck someone's dick, like you said. David Dewey was saying that too. He's like, sometimes you gotta though. He's like, sometimes you gotta really know how to rub elbows. And I remember when I went to LA, like the one time I went to LA, everyone's like, oh, how is it? I was like, I hate this place. Like, I hate LA, and I don't like the traffic.
I fucking hate LA.
I hate LA, and
Yeah.
I'm telling people that are in LA, that live in LA and do comedy in LA, and they're like, oh.
LA's like your stepdad. Like,
They
fuck,
love
I have
it.
to go there.
Dude, that's good.
Yeah.
It really is. It's like I want to be there, but like I want to be in a cool with my stepdad, but I fucking hate him.
Yeah.
I fucking hate his guts.
Let me ask one question.
Yeah, for sure.
So, speaking of like conversation and rubbing elbows,
He's your co-host.
Yeah.
I thought he was a guest, and he just wasn't. You weren't asking him any questions, and I kind of felt bad for him, but I didn't realize he's your co-host.
Yeah, well, I'm here every
Yeah.
time.
That's epic.
You know that guy, the Mexican Jimmy Fallon has? Which one of them has the
Oh,
Mexican?
I don't know.
Guillermo.
Guillermo there.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
He might Guillermo.
He's your Guillermo?
He might Guillermo.
Okay. Perfecto. You were
but-
saying?
But I was saying, talking about like rubbing elbows. Have you been in in a conversation with a group of people where you feel like they one up on you, like they just talk mad shit about you, and you're like, I don't have no rebuttals.
Bro, all the fucking time, and it's only people from LA. I'll talk as much shit as I genuinely, I don't give a dude, that is what pisses me off the most, is when people have taken the like street cred and business aspect of stand-up so seriously, and they've completely forgotten about the funny part. And I feel like real recognizes real at one point. Yeah. And like actual funny comedians will recognize comedians who actually just want to be funny. And that's happened to me before, you know? And I'm not the funniest person in the world, but there's been some people who have noticed, like, oh, that kid's just trying to be funny. He doesn't give a fuck about it. And I've had a lot of very special things happen to me from a lot of very, very nice people. And yeah, I've been in a green room with a bunch of people from LA. I'll never forget, I did your roast battle for the first time I was a judge. And I won't say the people's names just because I'm talking such bad shit about them.
Oh,
but you booked 2 other comedians on that show.
I know, yeah.
And I said, this is my first time being a judge on a roast battle. You guys have any advice? And I literally was asking it as a joke, really. I was like, have any advice for the young buck? For any advice being a judge? And then he goes, how many battles have you done? I go, 10. And he goes, yeah, I wouldn't be a judge yet, honestly, if I were you. I would just keep doing battles. You may not be ready to be a judge, but I wish you luck tonight. He told me all this shit before I go up on stage.
That sucks.
I said it in the most joking way when I asked him the question. I was expecting him to be like, oh man, just, keep your head up. And this guy has like 14,000 followers, not because he's a good comedian. And it's because of some fake gimmicky, TikToks that he's filming that have nothing to do with him being funny.
Yeah.
And he has plenty of followers, so he goes, hey man, I just keep doing the battles. If I were you, you're young, yeah, you'll get there eventually. And then I do the battle. I do that. That was the hardest I ever killed as a judge. Ever. I did so well, and he comes
Is what you just like, you hold up your whole note paper, is that one?
Oh yeah, and I was like, I got so bored I play Hangman with this.
Yeah. So I remember that one because that shit I really like about you being a judge. You and Marcos, man, are one of the best judges. It's just the riffing, but you're also sincere, but also you just know when to like. It's building up. Everything's kind of intense, and you just like, Hangman, like you know how to slice the room in half right there.
I try to. I hate when things get too serious. And then I did get that show, and the guy came up to me, and he goes, hey man, maybe I was wrong about you.
Oh, he took it back.
And then I go, fuck you for even walking up to me and saying that. Just come up to me and be like, sorry, man, I was totally wrong. Don't say like, hey, man, maybe I was wrong about you, kid. You know what I mean? Like, he's still this fatherly figure. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck you, dude. You were nothing and I'm nothing. Don't make you think like you're way better than me. Yeah. That shit happens to me all the time, and it only happens to me with people from LA. Everybody thinks just because they performed once at the Ice House, they're all of a sudden this like, yeah, man, maybe someday, you'll be like me. And I hate that shit.
But just even off of 14,000, like, I wish, like, dude, as soon as I become popular, I know I'm just gonna like be that guy, like an asshole, just like, yeah, dog, this is how you do it.
And there's honestly, I'm being honest, there's nothing wrong with that, but you will be hated by the people who just want to do this for,
look at this guy.
Actual sport,
Dude, as soon as I get like 10,000 followers, I'm gonna be like the roast master, dude.
Yeah. There's literally,
no.
There's literally nothing wrong with that. I don't like that aspect of the game. I don't like the aspect of competition. That's my biggest reason why I hated basketball and why I quit basketball, because I hated competition. I hated my friends getting mad at me and me getting mad at my friend just so I could beat him and being more aggressive than him. I hate that feeling.
You ever play a game with someone and they get mad at you for some shit on the game?
Dude, it's like we're playing this for fun.
Oh my God. I get nuts after. I get mad back. Because I would never like get mad like pretense, but when someone's like, what the fuck were you doing? We could have won. Yeah, we could also be like doing something productive right now. Like, we're playing Fortnite. We need to chill out.
I have understood over time that it takes a level of maturity to be serious with somebody, especially when they're trying to get something out of you on purpose. Like if I were to just fuck around this entire podcast,
that'd probably be funnier than what we're doing.
But that's the point. Is this supposed to be a super funny podcast, or is this supposed to be some like kind of like? Aren't you trying to get some information?
This whole podcast is for me. Yeah.
So to that exact point, I would be doing you a disservice if I was just trying to be silly goose the entire time, not taking any of your questions seriously. And I think it's good. So it's important to be able to know when that happens. But when I'm at an open mic, dude, I will never take anything seriously. Not a single, not a single fucking thing. Because I was serious all day at work because I have to act appropriately in front of girls that can fire me in a second, and I have to deal with other family stuff, and I have to be serious with all of that, and I can't joke around or I'll hurt people's feelings. The second I get to an open mic, I'm not taking anything seriously, and people get so mad at me for that. Like, people in the scene, I'll make fun of them, and I go, "What do you make fun of me? Why do you take anything seriously, man? I'm just trying to get, like, a point across, blah, blah, blah."
At an open mic?
You know what I'm talking about, if you pay attention.
Oh, is it one person specifically?
A few people.
Oh, a few people.
As of recently, it's been one person specifically. And he goes, I don't trust you, man. You just fuck around. And I had to sit down and talk to him, and we go, "Hey, man, do you think I want to be serious at an open mic? This is one of the few opportunities I get just to be funny and enjoy every single moment I get. It's right here at the open mic where there's a bunch of people trying to be funny. Why the fuck are you coming in here and telling me to be serious or hating me not for having a genuine, serious conversation? I'm trying to laugh and have a good time. That's the only thing I'm trying to do. And if that fucking pisses you off, then fuck you."
So, but your energy, but it seems like you also don't, not saying like in a bad way, but you don't give a fuck before a show, because there's times where like you have your written material. I've seen all your old material, right? Mm-hmm. But you go up there on a show or even like in a big spot or something or a big room, and you're not doing your set. You'll riff.
You can't be contained.
Yeah. So. You don't give a fuck.
Did you say I can't be
contained?
I can be contained, dude. It takes one scary crowd and I'll shit my pants and I'll be fucking nothing.
I see you killed in black rooms where I was like, I'm not going up. Because you go up there, it's like, fuck Kendrick Lamar, Drake or something. And then,
that's so fucking funny to say.
The crowd went crazy. Black people.
I literally was just like, how do I get all of their attention at once? And it's pretty racist. I went, "Fuck Kendrick Lamar," and they all stood up and looked at me, and I was like, I was just kidding. I was just trying to get you guys' attention. Anyway.
And he murdered, though. I seen the whole set. You murdered, but you don't, like you said, going through a script, making it serious, know what you're saying, because you already know what you're going to say, but you riff or you go off topic for the first, 3 minutes, right? Most of the time. Mm-hmm. Are you still not giving a fuck even at a show? No, I'm not giving any fucks. At any time. At any time. Yeah. If someone derails you out of your material, say goodbye to your material. Dude, just say goodbye. Do you really care about your material that much that you're willing to do it in front of a crowd that doesn't want to hear it? Like, fuck that shit. If somebody's heckling you or giving you a hard time or the crowd's not paying attention to your material, then it's like, fuck this.
Yeah, you see,
let me fuck this. I don't give a shit about material anymore. Let's see if I can talk and communicate to these people. And then once you get their attention, then you can start doing your material. Because it's like, oh, you guys like me now? Let me start giving you some of my prepared gifts then.
Okay, I get you. Dude, that's a good way to look at that.
But if you're on stage and you're doing just material, you're bombing, you're eating shit the entire time, nobody's paying attention, you go, then why am I putting them through this? And why am I putting myself through this, more importantly? Why would I just run this fucking bullshit material? I will say that has its side effects, as in you won't get to work on the material as much, but if you have a crowd that's not digging you, go fuck it. I don't care about my material that much. Let's see how I can get to these people. What makes them laugh, And then show them why you're funny. And then they go, oh, this guy's funny. Then they'll start listening to your material, That's why I try to riff on the room for the first, 4 minutes of every set that I do. So I try to gain their trust, and then I'm like, all right, now check this out, guys.
Yeah, okay. I like it.
I tried doing that same thing when I got booed off stage. I did no more material, and I was like, there's a minute left here. I'll say.
Dude, that was the hardest I've laughed in a really long time. I hope you know that.
When were you laughing?
Dude, I'll tell the story. He goes up on stage, bro, which is not your fault. It's not your fault that you got booed. Fucking Bobby was encouraging the crowd to boo you.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
He was like, you started talking about some jokes, and Bobby didn't. Bobby was salt because he ate shit.
Oh, he told me I fucking sucked. He's like, oh, Anthony Rivers sucked.
And he was jealous, and he wanted to make sure somebody sucked more than he did that night. That's all that was. Yeah. And then so the second you started not doing well, he was like, boo, this guy sucks, right? This guy sucks and I'm good. This guy sucks, right? And then he got everybody to start booing you, and I was like, what the fuck? Who books a show? Books you, and then boos you. Like, that guy booked you.
Hey.
That guy fucking booked you, and he's getting the crowd to boo you?
Yeah.
Looking back at this, he did kick Anthony Howdy off for you. So he's like, I gotta have somebody that sucks.
Oh, really?
Dude, that's
Nah, I'm just kidding. Howdy was supposed to be on the show, but he didn't get on the show because of all that bullshit.
so mind-blowing, dude.
But
And
no,
then he boos you, and then you go, alright, let's go, Trump. Let's go, Ice. And there's a bomb under this building. If you guys don't get out in the next 5 minutes, it's gonna fucking, everyone's gonna be dead. Thank you guys, have a good night. Dude, I was like, what a just complete 160. That was more of like a fuck the crowd, you know? But that was so funny, dude.
Yeah, no, that's-
And honestly, some people laughed at that. There were some people in the crowd that were like, whoa, what the fuck? After you said that. And it was so funny. And that's how you got off stage. Honestly, I've done that a few times too, where I've just, it's, and I also want to say another thing, back to what you were saying, as far as if I don't go on stage and I don't give a fuck. That's what I'm constantly telling myself 100% of the time, and eventually you'll believe it. Eventually you will believe it.
that's it.
Because don't play dumb. Everybody cares when they go up on stage.
Yeah, I can't.
Everyone gets nervous when they go on stage.
I can never bring myself to say that. Like, people are always like, I don't give a fuck. I'm like, nah, I have like notes in my hand. You can tell. I
Right.
couldn't sell that to anybody.
Dave Chappelle has a quote in his Mark Twain Prize thing where he says his mom always told him, in order to be a lion, you have to be a sheep pretending to be one amongst them, or something like that, or something along those lines. As in, you have to pretend to be a lion. You have to pretend in order for you to eventually become one. You start off as a sheep. Everyone does, and everybody has those thoughts of, oh, I'm gonna fucking bomb. I'm gonna eat shit. To say that I don't give a fuck when I go up on stage is a complete lie. I still get nervous. I would say every 10th set, I'll randomly just be like, oh fuck, oh shit, you know what I mean? But I pretend to myself until it's true, and eventually it is true. I'll be on stage and I won't give a fuck, and it's because constantly when I'm off stage I go, I don't give a fuck, I don't give a fuck. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about this crowd. I'm just gonna do my material. I don't give a shit about my material, and I'm lying to myself. Sometimes it's genuinely serious, but it takes a second for me to get to that area. Everybody is insecure. Everybody is. Even the most in-shape person that you've ever met. Somebody who, like Daniel Betts, you know, you see him, he's owns a business, he's very confident. Even that guy is insecure.
You guys, my hero.
You know? And, but he doesn't say it to anybody else. So we see him and we go, oh, he's a very confident guy. You know?
Yeah.
But everybody's insecure. You know what I mean? But it's willing enough, if you're willing to lie to yourself and tell you that you're not and have a good performance and put that aside to, you know, for your performance, for your art. And I lie to myself all the time. To say that I don't give a fuck is true to an extent. I do give a fuck, and I'm nervous that I won't get anyone to laugh, but I literally silence all of those thoughts. And the best way to do that is by fucking around on stage at the open mics.
Yeah.
When I'm fucking with people and I'm just making them laugh, the second I laugh, I forget all of that shit. And I go, I don't give a fuck. Let's just go up on stage. But everybody gives a fuck.
Yeah.
It's just whether or not you're willing to lie to yourself and keep those quiet for a good performance. You know what I mean? And eventually you will believe it.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, wrap this up. One more question. How's about that?
Yeah. I got like 2 more minutes.
All right, 2 more minutes.
Nah, we got
No,
like
you don't,
5.
bro. You got like 30
Yeah.
fucking minutes.
No,
You're
I
not-
gotta be at work at 12:30.
Okay.
You don't need that burrito.
I'm hungry.
You
though. They're
looking
not gonna
good.
feed me over.
Fast.
I
You're looking
get
good.
it.
You
I
can
get
look
it.
better.
I get
Um,
you saying.
Okay, so yeah, what's a joke you don't say anymore because maybe you've overthought it and you're like, it's just isn't funny, or a joke you don't say anymore for whatever reason you want, or just something you've been working on and you're like, you took it a little too serious and you're like, I can't even say it on stage,
Yeah, that's why there's magic in the first time you say a joke because you're so excited about it.
Yeah.
And then once you turn it into a project, it's like you don't care about it as much. My favorite comedian is Rory Scovel. And if you've ever watched him, you'll 100% see why. It's just because the way he does it is so, his special was like an hour and 20 minutes because he riffed 20 of the minutes. Like, he was just fucking around with the crowd the whole time, you know? And something that I heard that he said to a few of his openers before he goes up on stage is he says he never goes over his material before he goes up on stage. He just riffs and jokes around because he wants to forget about it. Because he wants to go up on stage convincing himself that it's the first time he's ever said it. And he's trying to get back that one time when he loved the joke again. So he can riff it on stage. That's why I try not to go over my material before our stage. I try to fuck around with people and then try to remember it on stage, you know? And then if I can't, I'm riffing. You know what I mean? and that's how you'll start adding to the joke. But most jokes I bail on it are just because either one, I think they're corny, or two, they're so difficult I'll find an excuse to why not to do them again. That happens all the
Like
time.
that pianist joke.
Pianist joke?
You know the one where...
No, that's a bar joke. My dad told me that joke and I reset it day out.
Wait, how's the joke go?
The joke is a guy walks into a bar and the guy next to him